Hello everyone. Now let us begin with the Z algorithm's main algorithm. Right. So right now we understood that what is Zi. Right. Now we actually calculated Zi in O of n square. Now we'll try to calculate Zi in O of n. Right. And to calculate Zi in O of n, we'll be using pre-computed, that is previous computed Zi values, or using already computed Zi values, right, as we did in LPS array, right. Okay, so first of all we'll be using already computed Zi values, and there is an important thing in this O of n algorithm that we'll always maintain ourselves with. The important thing is that we'll maintain, let me write it, it's the most important part. We'll maintain an interval, right, L to R. Okay, we'll maintain two indices actually, L to R, and that will represent an interval to us, such that such that L is less than equal to I is the current index that I am on, and it is less than equal to R, and S from L to R, that is the substring from L to R, the interval that we have of this string S, right. So this substring is also the prefix string. Okay, so don't worry, I'll also explain this in much detail, and we'll also like go over examples for this. So what we'll always do, we'll try to maintain an interval such that it starts somewhere behind or equal to I, the current index, and it ends somewhere on the right hand side of I, right. And also if, it's quite possible now that this interval does not exist. So if this interval does not exist, then what we'll do is simply, that will be a second case, right, that if this interval does not exist, then of course R will be less than I, right. Otherwise, if this interval did exist, then L and R will be, I will be in the middle of this L to R. Okay, so always an index I will have only these two cases, right. So let me also just write one more thing that was left here. We'll maintain an interval L to R such that L to R is a prefix string, right. And and R is the rightmost or rightmost value discovered, right. So basically there can be many L to R's na, but for each L to R we'll take the R that is the rightmost discovered values. See guys, there's one thing in this algorithm, that first of all we'll assume that we are maintaining an interval such that these conditions are holding, right, that interval is like completing these conditions. Okay, first of all we'll assume this, right, and after assuming this we'll build our algorithm, right. And in each step in the algorithm we'll actually try that this interval L to R fulfills this condition for the future indices, right. That's how we'll do this algorithm, like, but see, there's one thing over here, that first of all you have to assume it here, yes, this is happening, and then what we'll do is we'll just move on forward and we'll say, yeah, if this is happening, then how can I maintain this interval in each step of my algorithm, right. And if I can maintain it, then of course for the next indices this condition always holds true, right. So basically there are only two conditions, that either the I will lie between some L to R, that is a prefix, or that I will lie somewhere after the R, index, right? So only there are two conditions. I'll also explain you. I'll take the examples also, don't worry. So we have two conditions over here, right? Okay, so let me just give you a quick example so that we all don't get confused. What is the L2R and what is I over here? So let's say कि we have this um, string, right? Let's say this is S. So guys, we know that Z0 will be 0, of course. Then we'll start from 1. Let's say I is over here, and initially L and R are at 0, right? So what I'll do is I'll simply match I with L, then I'll match I plus 1 with L plus 1, and so on, right? The same way as I did in trivial algorithm, the basic naive approach, right? So starting from I, I'll try to find the length of the longest prefix, which is also a length of the longest substring, which is also a prefix, right? So where will I get it? See, if L is over here, then initially R is also here, then I'll match I and R. Of course they match, then R comes over here, right? And I'll match this now. Basically I'm doing the basic matching thing over here, right? So we all know that in the end R will reach over here, right guys? Because this whole string, this string of 6 A's is also this substring of 6 A's starting from index 1, right? So now for the second index, this is the second index, right? For this index guys, there are only two possibilities. The first possibility is that this index lies somewhere inside L2R that we have already computed, right? You have an example over here of the first possibility, right? And the second possibility is that whether this second index, it lies somewhere outside the range L to I, right? And guys, always remember that L is always less than equal to I. I'm never increasing my L after I, right? I will always start from the ith index and try to match it on the right hand side. Okay, so this is the first part of the algorithm, that we are actually maintaining an index, an interval, such that that interval starts from a substring. It's a substring of S, and it's also a prefix string of S, right? So this was about the first case, and now let's talk about the second case, this case, right? So let's take a different string. Let me mark it like AB and AAA, right? So initially L and R are over at 0, Z0 is 0. Now for index 1 I'll just apply a trivial approach, right? Just the trivial algorithm. I'll just like brute force it and check here how much length of the prefix I can start from index 1, right? So what I'll get is I'll get a 0. Why guys? Because we can easily see now this B does not match with this A, so no substring can start at this index. That will also be a prefix, right? So L and R will stay over there only, right? Then I'll move forward. I'll move to this A. Now we have the second condition, right? That for an index 2, L2R lies somewhere behind that index, right? This index is not in the L2R interval that I have already explained over here. I hope you got both the cases over here. That for any index, right? See, for index 1, so we are doing a trivial approach, right? We are just simply expanding my L2R for index 1. But for index 2 and onwards, we'll only have two options. First option, that it lies somewhere inside L2R. The second option, that it does not lie somewhere inside L2R. If it does not lie somewhere inside L2R and L is less than equal to I always, then what does it mean? That R should be less than I, right? Does not lie, because L is less than I. Okay guys, right? So let me just erase it. Right. So whenever I'll just move on to a next index, then of course L will be less than I, not even equal to, right? Because whenever I'll try to match with an index I, I'll just make it equal to L, right? What I'll do is I'll make L equal to I, and then I'll try to match with the prefix, right? So for an index I plus 1 and further indexes, L is less than I. I hope you got me over here, right? Because that's the next step of the algorithm, right? Okay, so now where are we? Yeah, so we have actually maintained an interval L to R such that this thing holds, right? As L to R is also the prefix and R is the rightmost value, right? It's important. We are actually assuming that we have found the rightmost R value, that is that fits in my interval, right? So after this, guys, after this we'll have two cases again. Right? So let's talk about the first case first. It lies somewhere inside or it does. Okay, let's talk about the second case first because it's an easy case, right? So guys, let's say I have a string and this is a whole string. Oh, right. This is the string and like let's say L was over here and R was over here only and my I is over here, right? It is quite possible, right? Okay, L and R are somewhere behind and I is in front of them, right? That there was no such intervals in which I lies. So guys, what I'll do for this case, let's take I over here only. What I'll do in this case here, if I'm not able to find any interval in which my current I lies, then what I'll do, I'll simply say here, okay, make L equals to I and make R equals to I, right? And start matching. Find like again, like do a trivial approach, like start matching, find the longest prefix which is which has this substring starting from index I, right? So what I'll do is I'll initialize L by I, right? Basically what I have done is that I'm trying to make a new match, I'm trying to make a new interval if it exists, and I'll try to start it with index I, right? Basically I have made L equals to L over here and R over here, and now just I have started my trivial matching, right? So this S0 will be matched with SL, right? If they both match, then only S1 will be matched with S of L plus 1, right? Until they can match. So basically what I have done is I am fixing L over here and I am trying to find a new interval R, new range, the new rightmost part of this interval, such that that belongs to a prefix of S, right? Basically a trivial approach, right? So if if I have a second case, then what I'll do, I'll always try to make a new interval. Here, can a prefix start from this position and go on till the next position or not, right? What is the length of the longest prefix, right? So this was all about the second case. It isn't much a tough case, right? Because we can easily see that, yeah, in many cases only this will happen, the second case. Why? Let's take a case. Let's say this is the string A B C D E F G H I, right? So L and R are at 0, right? Then I will be over here. Then according to trivial approach, L and R will be at 0 only, right? Then I will come over here, right? Again I have the second this R is less than I, right? Then again I'll do what? I'll just make L and R equal to this and I'll start matching again with A. It won't match. Again the Z will be 0, right? Again what I'll do, I'm just making a brute force approach, the basic trivial approach, this approach that we already discussed, this approach, right? For the second case, okay, I'm starting from that index I and I'll just extend it until I can, right? I'll extend that R pointer until I can and I'll find the range, and the range that I'll find will be the answer, right? That will be the ZR value, right? So basically Z of that index I for the second case will be equal to how much? R minus L plus 1, right? If R and if L and R denotes that interval, such that if I start from index I, because L equals to I, right, then R will be the rightmost value of that window, such that L to R also equals the prefix string, right? So for all these cases, guys, in this I'll always get in the second case because there is no prefix that will match, right? Okay, so this was all about the second case, just a trivial approach, right? Now let's talk about the first case, and this is a slightly trickier case, but it's not that tough. Like what will okay, so if my I lies inside this first case, such that L and R, such that L and R intersects, or let's say overlaps I, this case, right? So what does this mean, guys? That, let me just make a pictorial representation, something. Right. So guys, let's assume one thing right now. Here, my L started over here. Let's say here, right? And my R ended over here. That this was the longest substring. This was the longest substring that started at this position and it just ended at this position, right? After this, guys, when I'll come over this index I, okay, I'll just go over all these indexes to make this concept more clear. So let's say now I just came on this index I, right? So for this index I, my first case, I am in my first case that I is between L to R, right? So what does this mean, guys? That if this is L to R, that this much is L to R, it simply means one thing, that yes, SL, that is this SL, let me just write it on the left hand side, that SL equals to S0, right? That's why this is the range L to R, because it is also the prefix of string S, right? And SL plus 1 equals to S1, SL plus 2 equals to S2, SL plus 3 equals to S3, and 1 2 3 4 and 5, right? Let me just write it, because it is the most trickiest part. And finally L plus 5, that is R, right? L plus 5 is R. So SR equals to S5, right, guys? So basically this is also the prefix of this string S, right? Let me just index it. Okay. Right. So now I am on the current index I, and this ith index, see, if this is 8, so basically it is L plus 1, right? So if it L plus 1, guys, then at which index should it also match? It should also match at S1, right? So what does this mean? That, guys, this string from 7 to 12, this also equals this string from 0 to 5, right? That's why it is the longest prefix. That's why this L to R actually denotes a prefix, right? It denotes a prefix, right? Okay, so right now I have this thing that Si equals S1, right? If my I is at L plus 1. Okay, so both of these characters match, right? Now, guys, tell me one thing. If these strings are equal and this is the largest prefix that I got, है ना? Here, yes, S1 equals to S8, and this substring equals this substring from 7 to 12, right? That is S0 to 5 equals to S7 to 12. So I've already computed the zi value of s1, right? Because of course when I have come to s of 8, then I have already computed the values of z0, z1 till z7, right guys? Then that's what I'm doing. I'm always trying to move forward, computing the zi value of the current index and moving forward, right? So what does this mean? That I've already computed the zi value of 1, right? Basically I have already computed z1, right? In because I'm moving in a for loop and I've already computed the previous I values that I've been to, right? So previous zi values till I minus 1 have already been calculated, right? So now guys, we are at an index 8, and as I say that index 1 equals to index 8, and the substring from 0 to 5 equals to the substring from 7 to 12, right? So guys, can you think about like a relation between them, because both of these substrings are equal, right? So can we say here, if this zi, that z of 1, right? So if this z of 1, that is the length of the longest substring starting from 1, which is also a prefix of s, right? That is what zi is, na? Longest substring starting from 1, which is also a prefix of s. So if this substring, let's say if this substring has length 3, right? That means started from 1 and went to 3, that means z1 is 3, right? So for now let's take z1 equals to 3, that yes, that it equals 3. So basically guys, doesn't z8 should also be equal to 3? Because guys, both the strings are equal, na? If z1 is 3, that means here, okay, that this string, let me write it like a b c d e. Okay, we cannot take this example because we are assuming that z1 is 3, right? So just tell me one thing, that if z1 is 3, what does this mean? That these three characters were also the prefix of this string s, right? Basically s1 equals to s0, 2 equals to 1, and 3 equals to 2, right? So guys, in this case also s8 should be as equal to s0, because guys, this 0 to 5 equals 7 to 12, na? S8 should be equal to 0, right? S9 should be equal to 2, and S10 should be equal to 3 and 2, right? Why? Because these strings were equal, and if z of 1 is 3, that means that this was the longest substring that I got from starting at index 1, and which was also the prefix of s, right? So this is the first case over here, right? If z1 is 3, so if z1 is 3, what does this mean? That I have a 3 length substring that matched. So guys, of course only 3 length substring will match, na? From 8 to 10. Why 11 won't match? If 11 would have matched, then this 4 would have also matched, na, in z of 1, right? So basically what we are doing is, we are always we have correctly matched, or we have correctly found previous what is previous, that it less than I minus 1, right? zi values, right? So whenever I'll match a prefix, what does this mean? That of course that prefixes zi values were calculated, na? So if this is also that, if this also equals to that prefix, then of course that zi value should be equal to this much only, right? So basically I'm on the first case over here. There will be a second case, guys, and I'll also give you an example of it, right? So this is the first case, that z1 equals to 3. So if z1 equals to 3, then z8 should also be equals to 3. Z8 cannot take any other value. Why? Because from 7 to 12, that I lies inside L2R, and if I is 8, then it should be also equals to S1, because L2R is the prefix of this string, right? Okay, so the main thing I wanted to tell was that this Z4, this and this, they are both equal, right? We saw over here, right? L plus 4 should be equal to S4. If these both are equal, then it simply means one thing, that if Zi is 3, that means only this 3 length prefix matched, because I am already assuming that I have correctly found out the previous Zi values, right? If this Zi, let's say Z1 was 4, let's take Z1 was 4, that what does this 4 mean? That yes, 4 length of substring was also the prefix of string S. Then guys, Z8 should also be equal to 4. Why? Again the same logical reason ना, because both of the strings are equal, right? अगर यहाँ से 4 का मैच करेगा तो यहाँ से भी 4 का ही करना चाहिए ना, because both of the strings are equal, right guys? Okay, so this is the first case of the first case, right? That means for this first case we have a first case over here, when Zi value, that if I start from if I start that Zi value, like, okay, let me just make one thing over here. Let me just say k. Let's take a new variable k and let us make it equal to I minus l, right? So this k actually represents that prefix index, right? So if I have 8, then the k is, okay, if L2R is 7 to 12, let me just write it. Then what is k for I equals to 8? It will be 1, right? So basically it actually matches that to the prefix string, right? This k is actually the index in the prefix, which currently matches to the ith character in the current substring, current interval L2R, right? You can easily see this. Okay, so right, so just let me write it over here. This is the first case of it. First case, right? What is this case? That if Z of k, right? So if Z of k, it is less than this gap. If it is less than, let me just erase everything now. So if Zk, that is starting from here, if it is less than R, right, means if it does not increase R, because guys, this Z1 can also go till like 10, right? We never know na, that this Z1 can also match with the length of 10, right? It can also match with the length of 5, it can also match with the length of 6, right? But there's one guarantee, that if that Zi value, that Z1 value, Zk value, right, if it only matches the first characters that are like, let's say it only matches the first 4 characters, then these 4 characters will not be greater than this R value, right? Because from L to R is whole substring from 0 to 5, right? So if it ends somewhere before R, right, the ending, that is the Zk value, right, the length from this, basically what I mean is, if I, that is this index I, that is 8 plus Zk, right? So if I plus Zk value, that is let's say 4, right? If I plus Zk minus 1 is less than R, right? Basically what I wanted to say is, it should never reach the rightmost part, because if it because we already know na ki 4 characters were matched, it means only one thing, that yes, this was not matched. So we are sure about that this will never match, right? Because we have already computed the Z1 value, right? Okay, so this was the first case over here. If let me just like phrase it easy, taking everything on like LHS and RHS, what I'll do is, if Zk is less than R minus plus 1, right? So that's what I wrote there, I plus Zk minus 1, right? So what is I plus Zk minus 1? It is the index. If I start from I and I take the length of Zk, then where will that substring end, right? If it ends somewhere before R, right? Somewhere before r, what does this mean? Again I will repeat the same thing. If it ends somewhere before r, then we already know that yes, there is an index which does not match with the prefix. That means we can stop over here, right? Okay, so if it ends somewhere before r, then simply where is okay, if it ends somewhere before r, then simply what I'll do is zi equals to zk, right? See guys, again the similar thing. If z1 is 4, that means only 4 characters matched out of these 6 characters starting from index 1, right? And if only 4 characters match, then of course 4 will also match over here because both the substrings are equal, right? I don't think that I should repeat it again and again now, right? Okay, so basically what is happening, that I have actually found a I've actually found a ending character, right? कि यार हाँ इसके बाद अब मैच नहीं करेगा, right? And I have a guarantee about it because both the strings are equal and I have already correctly found the z1 value, that is the zk value in short, right? Okay, right, now let's go over the second case. Let's go over second case. See now, let's say again, let's assume that I am on the 8th index, that this is the I index, and this will be the zk, then k will be 1, right? Because k is equals to l minus 1. So right now let us assume that yeah, zk is not 4, it is like let's say it is 5, right? So let's say this zk is 5 because it can be 5 na, it can be 5. We can make a case for which it is equals to 5, right? So guys, tell me one thing, if zk is 5, that is z1 is 5, and from 0 to 5, 0 to 5 it also matches l to r, right? That means these characters should be equal to these characters. From 1 to 5 should be equal to 8 to 12 because of course these were equal, right? And if z1 is 5, what does this mean? That starting from index 1, the length of the longest prefix, right, is equal to 5 only. It is not more than that, right? But now think about it, that can it not be more than that? See, for z1 though it is 5, we have like calculated calculated z1 correctly, right? We have calculated z1 correctly. See, for this it is 5, but क्या z8 के लिए भी वो 5 होगी? Will it be equal to 5 for z equals to 8? For z8 will it be equal to 5? This is my question. Think about it, like pause the video and think about it कि यार okay, if these 5 characters are also the prefix, then these 5 characters will also be the prefix. But what about the 6th character, guys? It can also be the prefix na. What about the 7th character? See, it is a very simple logic that now particularly these both characters are like equivalent sort of thing, right? If those 5 match, these 5 will of course match. Now we are completely dependent on this character and this character, right? Because we have not found an end. I will say that yes, that zi value will be at least that much, right guys? It will be at least 5, but it can be more than 5 na, because let's say here we had a different character x and here we had a different character y, right? But this y all actually matched with some of my characters over here, right? Basically let's say that this was also y, s5. Now we can easily say na ki yaar yes, this s5 equals to s13. If s5 equals to s13, then 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. See, 8 was equivalent to 0, 9 was equivalent to 1, 10 was equivalent to 2, 11 was equivalent to 3, 12 was equivalent to 4, and 13 was equivalent to 5, right? Right. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So now I'm saying that yes, that this character, I'm taking this character 5 as y, right? So it is quite possible that this 13th character, that is y, and this 5th character, that is y, are equivalent, right? Furthermore, s5 is not equal to s6. That's why I got s1 equals to 5 na, because they were not equal, right? Let me just erase these. See, don't get confused over here. I'll go a little slow over here. Okay, so let's take this character equal to some x character or y, as we already took, and let's take this character equals to some y character, and let's take this equals to x, right? So what does this mean? That, yeah, yes, when I'm z1 equals to 5, simply what does this mean that z1 equals to 5? It means that 5 length of my substring was equal to that, right? So basically 0 was equal to 1, 2 was equal 1 was equals to 2, 2 3, 3 4, and 4 5, right? Basically 5 was not equal to 6, right? That is what I made, that this is character x and this is character y, both of them are different, right? Okay, so 5 is not equal to 6, right? Now if I say that yes, I can have a character y over here, right, and this character is also y, right? So basically z1 equals to 5 means here, yes, this 5 length of substring the substring of length 5 was actually matching, right? But I'm not sure about the further characters, right? Because I haven't calculated the further characters, whether they match or not, right? So what I'll do is, for this case, if for the second case, right, if my that rightmost ending is greater than equal to y, that is I plus zk minus 1 is greater than equal to r, right, then what I'll do is I'll simply start matching the newth character, that is this 13. I'll start matching this 13 here, whether is this 13 matching with 5 or not, because it is quite possible na, that this 13 will match with this 5, right? So if this 13 matches with 5, then z of 8 will not be equal to 5 na, then z of 8 will be equal to 6. Think about it, right? Basically z of 8 can be equal to 5, right? It is the means I can say that it is at least 5, at least 5, right? It is at least 5, but of course it can be 6. How it can be 6? If z of 8 can be 6 when s of 13 equals s of 5, right? So what will happen is that, yes, 12 matched with 4, right? See, 8 matched with 0, and 1 matched with 9, 2 matched with 10, 3 matched with 11, 4 matched with 12, right? Now in calculation of z1, s of 5 never matched with s of 6, but it is quite possible na, ki s of 13 can match with s of 5. It is quite possible. I have given you the example. If it is y, and if it is y, and if it is x, right? I have given you a very good example over here. You can easily check it. Don't get confused about like what does z1 means. It means here, if I'm starting from 0, then length of 5 matches with these characters, right? So what I mean is that, yes, for z of 1 I can stop at 5, but it does not mean that z of 8 should be equal to 5. But in the previous case, see, in this previous case, so I got an index here, yes, after this index I am not able to match, then it should be less than that, right? But now if that value zk value is greater than r, right, that length increases, this length I plus zk minus 1, if it is greater than equal to r, then I'm not sure na ki further characters will match or not, because for that r value I haven't calculated the future values of my string, right? So this is a really good example. See, 5 doesn't match to 6, but 5 matches to 13. So z8 can be equal to 6. It can be equal to 6, right? It can also be equal to 7. It can also be equal to 8. It depends upon on the further characters of the string, right? So basically if I have this condition greater than equal to r, then what I'll do is I'll simply say ki yaar L equals to I, and from R again what I'll do is I'll start matching. I'll do the trivial matching algorithm, trivial match again, right? Here make L equals to I means like expand R further, because I found an index na such that I can expand R further, right? Because these characters were already matching till R, right? These many characters were already matching till R na, these many characters. So if these were already matching, then I have a future scope of also matching the further characters. So I'll try to expand my R. I'll make this I equal to L and expand R, right? I equal to L and expand R, right? So for every index, we'll have only these many cases, right? The first case that I lies inside the interval, and in that first case we'll have two cases. What will be those two cases? That here is the ending position. If I start from that I, if the ending position is less than R, that means yes, I cannot match further, right? Because that thing has already been calculated as zk, because both the strings are equal, right? And secondly, if that ending goes beyond R, then I does not know na ki how much beyond R it can go. Then what I'll do is I'll fix L. I'll make L equals to I, right? And I'll try to expand R, because I currently I do not know that how much beyond R it can go, right? So after this video I'll just code it, right? You can also code it yourself now, because most of the things are written over here only, right? And after that we'll discuss the complexity of the algorithm after coding it. You can also find this complexity yourself. You can also try it. You just have to make the cases, right? See you in the next video.